7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hey monkeys, welcome to Live Wild or Die. This is part 2 of the Misogi series, and I gotta let you guys know that I had an injury. It's not serious. I sprained my ankle. I rolled my ankle like literally a quarter mile into this run. For those of you that don't know, I'm recording this at the Grand Canyon right now. I was planning on doing the rim to rim to rim. It's about a 48-mile trail run. You start at the south rim, you run across the Grand Canyon to the north rim, tap it, turn around, and run back. And it's about 48 miles and about 10,000 vertical feet of elevation gain. So definitely a significant distance to cover on foot, but I've been training. I was feeling great. And, we started at about 2:50, 2:55 this morning, wearing headlamps, and I just stepped on a rock, turned my ankle, and tried to kind of walk it out. I probably went about 4 miles total down into the canyon, and then I had to hike that back out. So I think I did about 8 miles. And I'm looking at it right now. It's swollen, and I wasn't fast. And, it's when you're doing almost 50 miles, it's what you can do in 4 miles is a lot different than 50. So I knew I wasn't going to be fast, and didn't want to put my friends. I had about 10 friends with me. Didn't want to put any of them in a situation, so decided to call it. And it's a bummer, but I kind of go into some stuff about just failure and learning from that, and talking more about the Misogi and training and just mindset. So obviously I probably sound bummed, but it is what it is. So I'm going to do my best to recover quickly, and hopefully I can have a full trip report for you guys in the future. So enjoy the show. Thanks for listening. Monkey on. Hello, monkeys, and welcome to the Live Wild or Die podcast. I'm your host, Monkey Dan, and this is part 2 of a 2-part series on the Misogi, which may turn into a 3, 4, or 5-part series, depending. But so right now I'm sitting at the south rim of the Grand Canyon. This morning, myself and like 10 other friends from kind of all over the country, we got up at 2:15 a.m. We were on the trail by about 2:55, and it's about 30 degrees outside, totally clear. The stars were epic. And about a quarter mile down the trail, I stepped on a rock and just popped my right ankle. So I'm looking at it right now. It's not the worst ankle sprain I've ever had, but it's definitely swollen, and there's no way I was going to be able to do 48 miles. I started hiking for a while, so I ended up going down into the canyon about 4 miles, and I wasn't fast enough. A few things. One, I wasn't fast enough, so I'd probably finish like in 30 hours, which there's just no way. And 2, I think I'm doing more damage than I am good. Obviously, I have a sprained ankle. So, it's been, I kind of planned this trip last August, September. So it's been a 6-7 month lead up to it. And, I had a bunch of friends fly in, drive in from all over the country. The weather is perfect. I mean, it was going to be awesome. And, quarter mile down, popped my ankle, tried to kind of walk it off, but there was nothing I can do. So I think the good thing is I feel very confident about my decision to turn around. And, as soon as I did that, my mind just immediately went to, okay, like, gonna rest for a few weeks, strengthen this thing back up, do a little bit of physical therapy, just make sure I'm good to go. I know my fitness is good, so I can maintain that. And then hopefully I can come back either maybe later this spring or, the fall's supposed to be good as well. So, this isn't the first time something like this has happened to me. In 2015, was it 2015 or 2016? I think it was 2015. I went to climb El Cap with my buddy Michael Butts, and we got about halfway up the wall, so about 1,500 vertical feet up El Cap, it's about 3,000 total feet, and that's in Yosemite for those of you who don't know. But El Cap's about 3,000 feet high. We got up to what's called the Boot Flake. It's about halfway, and we were just too slow. We had dropped gear. Just a lot of things had gone wrong. So we decided to pull the cord, and we rappelled down the wall, which is almost scarier than going up it. But fortunately, I was able to go back a year later and was able to complete the climb. So that was awesome. But, as soon as we got down after failing, my mind, I was super bummed, obviously, but my mind, I just immediately went to, okay, how can I get better? What can I learn from this experience so that when I go to do it the next time, I'm going to have a higher probability of success? And, I think, I mentioned this 2-part episode, or this 2-part series was about this concept of the Misogi. So the whole point of the Misogi is you're not 100% certain you can do it. So I think that example right there with failing on El Cap the first time, kind of regrouping, looking at my training, looking at how I approached it the year before, or what I could do over the next year to get better so that I would have, again, this higher probability of success. So I'm sitting here now just, I think I felt great hiking out from like a cardiovascular perspective. My legs, my quads felt good. Obviously my right ankle did not feel good. It was, so when you pull your toes towards your shin, that is dorsiflexion. When you point your toes like towards the ground or away from your shin, that's plantar flexion. And as I'm sitting here, my shoes are off. I'm really having quite a bit of trouble with that plantar flexion of the foot. So it's, it was really difficult I couldn't run basically. So I was going to be a lot slower. I couldn't get that final push off. That's where I was getting the most pain. So it's kind of everywhere, to be honest. The outside of my right ankle, the inside, and then that area where your Achilles inserts kind of into your heel. But, it's just, it is what it is. I was reading a book that actually Monkey Dave gave to me, who's co-founder. It's called Do the Work. And it's a great book. It's by the same author that wrote The War of Art. And let me grab it real quick so I make sure I tell you guys the right name. So Do the Work by Stephen Pressfield, Pressif. Oops. His last name is Pressfield, Pressfield. And he also wrote a book called The War of Art, which, awesome book. Definitely would recommend both of these. But this Do the Work, it's kind of these mental strategies to use for taking on these big projects, and typically more of a creative project. So think like starting a business, or it could be writing a book, anything that's a creative process that takes a lot of time and effort. So I'm reading this book, and there's a line, it says, "The problem is the problem." And basically what he's trying to say with that is, if when you're trying to start a business or do something creative, if there's these obstacles or problems or whatever it is, it's focus on the problem as this kind of external objective thing versus internalizing it. And, it's with this whole ankle thing here, it's trying to approach it as the problem is the problem. Do what I can do now to expedite the healing and recovery process, and trying to think of some other friends who might be interested in coming out to the Grand Canyon for the rim to rim to rim. So if you're interested, let me know. But yeah, it's just, the old cliche goes, you don't learn from being successful, you learn from failure. So, I guess this whole situation here, it's not, the only thing I did wrong was step on this stupid rock, but again, I felt like my training was good. I did 8 miles. I feel like I could easily keep going all day from an energy perspective. It's just the chassis down low is not working. So I'm just trying to really learn from what I could do what would I do next time differently? Well, I'd probably, you wake up at 2:15, you're tired, and you have a headlamp on. So it's just your depth perception's a little bit off. The shadows are a little off. So maybe what I would do next time is hike or walk the first half mile or even the first mile. Just 1, get warm, and 2, just get used to taking in the terrain, analyzing the terrain, and being less likely to roll my ankle. So, yeah, I don't have too much else for you guys right now. It's just I wanted to give so what time is it here? It's as I'm recording this, it's 6:37 Saturday, April 13th, 2019. So we started again at 2:55 this morning. I was back at my car at the trailhead by around 6. So it was about 3 hours I was out there. And I want to give it to you guys coming fresh off the experience, so you can kind of get that raw perspective. And also there is like this cathartic side of it too, just being able to talk into my phone here alone, but at least just share these thoughts and feelings that I'm having. It's, I guess, I think the closest comp for me is that El Cap experience where, I really did internalize that, because to be honest, I didn't train as well as I could have. And it wasn't so much a fitness thing as it was a skill and mental thing. So big wall climbing, there's a lot of systems, just rope systems and hauling. You're hauling your gear up the wall. So we'd practice doing all this stuff, but we didn't master it. We knew how to do it, but we weren't efficient. And there's just all these little things that when you're trying to do something that big, there's all these inefficiencies, they add up, and something that should take an hour turns into 3 hours. So that failure was really my own fault. And here it's just, the fate of the universe kind of placed that geology, this rock that's been around for millions of years, just happened to be in that spot, and my foot happened to land there. So it's just bad luck, to be honest. So try and recover as fast as I can. And just thinking out loud right now, I've heard other people. I remember some hockey players. I grew up playing ice hockey, so I'd follow these NHL players. I remember this one guy talking about he'd hurt his knee or something, or pulled a quad, and he just saw it as an opportunity to work on his upper body strength. And, I'm certainly not in a wheelchair, or I definitely don't need crutches. I just need to take it easy for a week or two. But, for this next week or two, I've been tapering the last 2 or 3 weeks. So my I've got a lot of energy. So I'll certainly be applying that to activities that don't involve my right ankle, and probably focus on the upper body a lot. But, I'll have to see how riding a bike is. But, it'd be nice to kind of take advantage of this upswing and the taper, use that to push myself a little bit. And, again, maybe if I can get healthy and find a partner, maybe even just go for it later this spring. Solo. We'll see. It's always, I've done a lot of trips like that, and I don't not like it, but it's so much more fun to do something like this with a group and friends, and just it's going to hurt no matter what. So it's nice having friends in a group to spread that suffering and that pain across, and just, joke around and just lighten the mood. When you're alone, you just, when you start to get in well, after you've been out for hours and you're in pain and you can't really express it except inside your own head. So having people around you, I think, super important for these type of things. So, I think I've mentioned this on the podcast, but I spent 3 seasons working as a wilderness ranger, and that's a pretty solitary job. And, I thought I was more of like this lone wolf type of person, but if I'm honest, I really prefer to be with friends and other people doing these adventures. I guess it's more like it wouldn't stop me from doing it, but if I could have friends to do these things, I'd prefer that. It's just so much more fun. And I think it really is part of human nature, and I think leads to a lot more happiness when you have these shared experiences and this community and this tribe. It really, and I think the monkey family is such a great example of that. Just seeing folks comment on other folks' Instagram posts or Facebook posts, or getting emails from you guys talking about your monkey training or adventures you guys are doing. It really is this. It wasn't something we necessarily thought about when we started creating this monkey family, this monkey community, but it's such an amazing just result of starting the company and finding this group of wild, like-minded people that there's this shared thought, this shared way of thinking, shared philosophy on life that I think we all kind of overlap on. So that's really, I think, what this is all about, to be honest. So setting these big goals, doing these ventures, it's like it kind of creates a forum or an environment where you can create these human relationships, or monkey relationships in our case. So yeah, it's these are my reflections, just a couple hours post injury and having to call it on the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim. Super bummed. But again, I just don't know what I could have done differently. So can't wait to come back here. If you have not been to the Grand Canyon, it is absolutely beautiful. It's a lot different than I thought. It's like a pine forest on the rim. You're at, I think, 6,500 or 7,000 feet in altitude. So you're up higher, and it was interesting this morning. It got warm very quickly as we descended down. So it was like 30 degrees. That's what the car showed this morning. And it definitely warmed up as you descended, just as you went lower in altitude. So, but it's a wild place. I mean, I'm sure most people have seen pictures or movies where they show the Grand Canyon, and it's just the video and pictures. It doesn't even come close to doing it justice. So if you're in the area, it's about a 4-hour drive from Vegas. Pretty easy drive. So if you can get out here, make it happen. Tons of great monkey trees as well. So I'm going to rest up a little bit here, get some food, and then see if I can get a little monkey workout in, just so I can get out some of this energy. So anyways, thanks for listening to this episode. Sorry I didn't have a more exciting trip report for you guys. But it is what it is, and just didn't get to do it yet. So rim to rim to rim is still on the radar. Just need to wait a little bit, get healthy, and make it happen. So if you've got something, hope you guys are training hard, and monkey on, everyone. Hey monkeys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Live Wild or Die podcast. And I'm sorry I didn't have a more exciting trip report for you guys, but yeah, just not a lot I could really do. So trying to get healthy. I'll keep you guys updated on the progress. Again, it's nothing horrible. It's just, again, when you're trying to run/hike/human power on foot, almost 50 miles, it's just little things like this just add up and can get you in a situation. So especially the Grand Canyon, it's a it's so interesting. It's like it's the total opposite of mountain climbing, where you get to the top of a mountain, at least it's downhill, whereas here at the Grand Canyon, you get down to the bottom, you got to go all the way back up. So again, I keep saying this, but I feel good about my decision, and yeah, I'll keep you guys updated and let you know when I'm headed back here. So thanks for listening. If you have questions, please shoot an email to info@monkii.co. That's info@monkii, monkii.co. And you can also leave comments under the YouTube video. And also some guys sent some messages via Instagram. So again, I want to treat this as like this open conversation amongst the monkey family, the monkey community. So would love to hear your thoughts, and you guys can tell me I'm soft and I should have just sucked it up and finished it. But no, thanks for listening. And lastly, if the reviews, they really help. They help get the word out to other monkeys and non-monkeys. So if you have the time, if you could leave a review, 5 stars only, please, that'd be much appreciated. So thanks again. Monkey on, everyone.